Hey there, NBA fans. Tom Downey here with some breaking NBA news. We got another trade. Russell Westbrook, he's out of Houston, and John Wall is out of Washington. The 2 point guards have been dealt for each other. Here are the trade details involved in this particular move. The Wizards are getting Russell Westbrook after he demanded his own trade. Houston is getting John Wall after, well, apparently he also asked to be dealt. The Rockets are also getting a 2023 protected first-round pick. Now, it's not going to be on screen, but here are the protections on that first-rounder. In 2023, it is lottery protected. 2024, it's top 12 protected. 2025, it's top 10 protected. And in 2026, it is top 8. If in the event the pick does not convey by that time, it actually becomes 2 second-round selections. So those are the protections on that, a whole lot in there. I'll make sure it's in the description in case you guys need to go check it out. But it's Wall and a first for Russell Westbrook. So who won the trade? Get your votes in here, folks. W for the Wizards or R for the Rockets. The two teams deal point guards that I guess just didn't want to be with the teams anymore, and the teams are kind of like, okay, we can move on. The Wizards hold on to John Wall after his Achilles injury and then deal him for Russell Westbrook. Contract-wise, it works out almost perfectly, which, of course, is why the deal is getting done without any salary cap filler. But get your votes in. W for the Wizards, R for the Rockets. This will be the pinned comment, so scroll on down and spam your W's or R's. Let's talk more in depth here on the Russell Westbrook and the Wizards side of it. Now, as a note, this also reunites Russ with head coach Scott Brooks. Now, remember, Russell Westbrook, as has been widely reported, had requested a trade from the Houston Rockets. And I think for whatever reason, probably because they were both a little bit too ball dominant, Russ and Harden just didn't fit together at this stage in their NBA career. We will talk more about James Harden, by the way, and what this means for him in a little bit. Now, I do want to make another note here. The Rockets and Wizards, as we had mentioned on a previous show, had talked about a trade before. They had been silent in terms of communication with each other for weeks, but apparently they reconvened today and got a deal done within hours. Now, Russell Westbrook is fun to watch. Even as he ages, he's athletic, he's dynamic, he's fun, man. But he also can't shoot. And the three-point shooting had become a problem in Houston and was really a bit of an issue in Oklahoma City as well. Some have called him one of the more overrated players in the NBA. He will be expensive for Washington, but not really any more expensive than what John Wall was. Westbrook's going to make $41 million this year, $44 next year, and then $47.1 after that, at which point I'm not convinced he's going to be commanding quite that amount of money on the open market, but the Wizards get Westbrook, and that's fun to say multiple times in a row in a deal for Wall. Now, when there's breaking NBA news or intriguing NBA rumors, we got you guys covered. That's why I'm subbing in for Hater Jimmy on this video, because we had to get it for you guys. If you haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe today. That way, you don't miss out on anything that goes on around the NBA news rumors. We had the most watched draft coverage by a massive margin. If you haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe today. Let's talk John Wall and the Houston side now. I have always been a fan of John Wall, but there is some risk involved in this particular. That's probably why the Houston got the first-round pick side of it. He hasn't played since that 2018-19 season. Achilles, the main reason there. There was a report earlier that John Wall had requested a trade. Now, John Wall and the Wizards organization were like, well, most of the Wizards organization was like, no trade request. Clearly there was. I don't think that the difference between Westbrook and Wall at this stage in their careers is the type of move you're actively trying to pursue if you're a team, unless Wall also wanted out of Washington. The last time we saw him out there, almost 21 points per game, 9 assists per game, 30% from deep. There are similarities in these two players' games in terms of their strengths and weaknesses. Both are fun, push the tempo point guards in their primes. They can pass. They're not great shooters, but they are electric and fun to watch. And contract-wise, again, you have to make the money's match in the NBA, and they match almost exactly on this one. 41.3 for Wall this upcoming year, 44.3, and then 47.4. So who is the better player? This is a fun question. And I think for the most part, We're going to go with Russ in this one. Type your Russes in the comments. Or if you disagree, type in Wall. I think it's clear if John Wall were healthy, I legitimately might go wild and pick John Wall instead. But because he's coming off the injury, because there's uncertainty, and because, the Rockets got the first-round pick in the deal, I am inclined to instead go with Russ. But get your votes in here. Russ for Russell Westbrook or Wall for John Wall. Now, look, NBA players get traded. That's why our friends over at Fanatics offer jersey assurance. So if in the event you say, I don't know, buy a James Harden jersey in the coming days, and then he gets dealt a week later, they'll replace it for you. And oh, by the way, they're 25% off. Maybe you're best served going with a player who's not going to go anywhere anytime soon, like Luka, or like LeBron, who just signed his extension, which is wild to think because that actually doesn't happen very much with LeBron James. Head over to chatsports.com/NBA jerseys. 25% off. You can rep your favorite player. You can rep your favorite team. That link will be in the comments, and it will be in the description as well. Go check it out today. chatsports.com/NBA jersey. Let's talk Houston Rockets now more in depth in terms of what their roster could look like here. John Wall, James Harden. I'm very intrigued how those two end up fitting together. Yeah, you made a deal for Christian Wood. You've got DeMarcus Cousins. If you want to embrace a little bit more of a bigger lineup, you have Eric Gordon as well. You are in a unique spot in terms of trying to contend. House is probably going to be back for them as well. Ben McLemore's on the roster. You also have P.J. Tucker, who will play a key role for you as a sixth man, or maybe that's Eric Gordon. You can go bigger overall. I think the Rockets are going to make the postseason. I'm not convinced that with the way this team is trending, that they are a legitimate title contender in the Western Conference. But will they make the postseason? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Type Y for yes or type in N for no. Let's talk the Wizards side of things now. So Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, I actually think that fits together pretty decently. You have Davis Bertans, who will shoot for you. You have youngster Tony Brown on the bench as well. Rui Hachimura, I think, will be a good 4 for you in the long run. The depth isn't exactly ideal. You're probably going to ask for a bigger role out of your rookie if you bring him over. Denny Avdija, not you bring him over, he's going to come over. Denny Avdija, excuse me. I think that'll be a key role for him. I like where the Wizards are at as a developing young team. But again, this is not a contending team quite yet. But I think it was pretty clear John Wall got out. So they're going to try and make a playoff push with Russ and Bradley Beal leading the way. Now, I do want to go back to Houston here. Because the big discussion point now is, okay, what happens with James Harden? He and Russell Westbrook allegedly both won out. Harden wants to go to the Brooklyn Nets. I don't think Russell Wilson carried tremendous value for you. But I do think this trade, unless nobody else wanted him and you had to take on John Wall, is indicative of a Rockets team that truly is committed to trying to win with James Harden this year. We'll see if he gets his wish and gets dealt to the Brooklyn Nets. Normally when a player demands a trade, it ends up happening. But I think the move for Westbrook is built around, move for Westbrook away, and getting Wall back, is built around trying to compete with James Harden. So again, Russell Westbrook, he is heading over to the Washington Wizards. He had already requested his trade. Didn't fit in particularly well. The note I want to double mention here again, because I saw this being reported, the two sides had not talked in weeks, and then they got a deal done in hours today. So I'm not sure which side changed, but something happened to get those two a deal done. And then John Wall goes to Houston, gets to reunite with DeMarcus Cousins, his old Kentucky Wildcats friend. I think the reports of his trade request were indeed true. As a reminder on this deal, the Rockets are also getting a 2023 protected first-round pick. Lottery protected in 2023, top 12 in 2024, top 10 in 2025, top 8 in 2026. And if it doesn't convey by then, it actually becomes just a pair of second-round selections.